Hey, good morning, folks. Sorry about the little delay there. It's Tuesday, September 8th, 2020. Good morning, Emily. Got to remember it's Tuesday morning. Sorry, just a couple minute delay there. Trying to get the day started. Now, if you're new to the show, welcome. I'm your host, BKP. We're North Georgia's only live online morning show. We have two guests that will be with us today. My first guest will be at 8:30 in the morning, Congressman Doug Collins, also candidate for U.S. Senate. Congressman Collins will be with us at 8:30. My second guest, a Democrat, Rick Day, running for the Georgia State House 7th District, State House 7. Rick Day will be with us at 9 o'clock. So we've got a lot lined up today. Now, if you're new to the show, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Trump hats on the desk. And if that's not enough, 55 days, there you go. Thank you, Emily. And if that's not enough, there you go. If you need a little more, Trump 2020, there you go. Okay, so I do support the President of the United States. I had a great 3-day weekend. What say you? Now, we're going to get into a lot today. We're going to talk about, I'm not going to do this till about 9:30, but so you're sitting on, because this has some foul language. Sorry about that, folks. We're having an internet connection. I had an opportunity to fix that over the weekend and did not. So, when am I going to have Kelly Loeffler on the show? I doubt ever. So, Emily, thank you for throwing that internet connection up there. I apologize for that. Help me keep an eye on that. Sorry about that. Hopefully, we can keep our internet going here this morning. I had an opportunity to fix that over the weekend, so I must share I did not get that done. And sometimes we have a connection error. So this morning, number 90, give me number 90. I was asking, so you're sitting in Pittsburgh and you're having a nice outdoor, you're having a nice outdoor lunch, right? And so people start screaming and yelling at you that, and take your drink, walk right up to your table and take your drink. It starts scaring all the white folk off. Rochester everywhere, Rochester, New York, screaming and yelling. White dominance ruined this world. We're going to correct the white dominance and everything. Oh my God. Oh, wow. So we'll talk about that. We're going to get into that about 9:30. A flotilla, is that what that's called? Give me number 2. Okay. Enthusiasm, here's number 2. There's a couple of the boats, what they look like out there on Lake Lanier this past weekend. Okay. A couple of the boats out there on Lake Lanier. And here's number 3. Okay. Look at number 3. Supposedly 4,000 is what's been counted on Lake Lanier here in Georgia. Now, this is just one of hundreds of boat parades around this country Labor Day weekend. But this is the one that really got attention nationwide. 4,000 boats on Lake Lanier. This is happening. This happened in Pennsylvania. Okay. Number 4. This is happening all over the country. Number 4. Okay. And to the media, this is bad. This is bad. Okay. This is happening all over the country. Flag parades, okay, on highways. Look at that. And enthusiasm, number 6. All right. This guy and his brother going down the road in their Trump Make America Great Kia, probably made right down here in Georgia, right? And I'm telling you what, to the media and Democrats, this is bad. Now I want to show you something. High school football took place this past weekend. They are stressed out with us. I'm only going to show you one game, but this was all over Georgia. Give me number 13. Now I want you to look at something, okay? Now, this is number 13. This is some action between Gilmer Bobcats and Pickens Dragons. And why am I showing you this? Because normally 4 high school players get named as captain. Okay, stay with me on this. They get named as captain, 4 high school players. And at that time, as they get named as captain, they come out and they go to the center of the field, all right? They go to the center of the field and they shake hands and they do a coin toss, right? No, GHSA changed the rule. Now, I'm not too upset. We did play Friday night. But GHSA changed the rule that only 1 captain per team and no handshake. So we had 1 captain per team come out to the center of the field. The other rule that they changed is no shaking hands afterwards. Just separate, go to the corner end zones, your corner, and no shaking hands. But outside that, 22 guys on the field, official with no mask on. He's got no mask on. None of the officials had masks on. Okay. And 22 guys on the field can mix it up like that. See them mixing it up. They can mix it up. Can't shake hands. But I want to give the big shout out. This is where, and let me say this. I'm not showing these pictures to be negative, okay? But because we are in the South, the media will say, and viewers out there will say, this is ignorant. Now, President Trump asked the guy to take his mask off yesterday. Couldn't hear him talk. And the media is spinning out of control. We'll get to that in a minute. But look at number 12 here. Okay. Now, they set up, these guys are not supposed to be this close. Not supposed to be, according to GHSA rules. All right. Or guidelines. Look at the fans. Now, first of all, I'm not showing this. I was on the sideline, okay? I'm not showing this to say that these people, because we're in the South, ignorant, okay? I'm not. I'm with them, okay? I am with them. Here's another shot of the fans, number 11, okay? Now, over the weekend, us Republicans, this is bad according to Democrats, okay? That's Friday night football all over North Georgia, okay? Number 10. Now, this is an overall view. I'm going to say 200, maybe more, okay? The 9th Congressional District, the 9th District of Georgia, GOP campaign kickoff. I went to the top of the hill. We're at the Dillard House. I took a picture down through there. Hundreds of people enjoying an afternoon. Now, I can never do this without showing you my favorite Collins. Sorry, Congressman. I know you'll be up in a minute, but this is my favorite Collins, number 9. Okay. Jordan is my favorite Collins. But we all enjoyed. Here's the band. Got to give it up for the band. Number 8. Okay. Larry Scroggs, I think that's his name. I think I got to check it out there. Number 8. Give it up for the band. Here is our next Congressman, Andrew Clyde, number 7. Okay. And here is number 5, the FYN team. We had Chase Farley in the FYN Media Group marketing department, myself, Lisa, and the head of our news department, Lauren Souther. And we didn't mandate masks, and our social distancing was a little off there. So anyhow, go ahead and take that down. But we enjoyed the weekend, and we really did. It's bad for Democrats. Democrats, everything I just showed you is bad. We are wrong. We are bad people. Okay. When you see this, let me show you something. Number 28. Okay. That's it. We are not allowed to have opposing opinions. We are not allowed to have freedom of speech. Democrats are not okay with freedom of speech. Number 28. All right. Number 28, September 7, Oregon for Trump 2020 Labor Day cruise rally. Bad. That's bad. Okay. That is bad. Okay. Yeah. Labor Day cruise. They do not allow freedom of speech. You cannot get your vehicle and see the flags. Like I said, this is all over the United States. If this is Black Lives Matter, the media is like, good, good. Throwing rocks, good. Bricks, good. Doctors are concerned about second wave of coronavirus after Labor Day weekend gatherings. We never have authorities concerned about the next wave after brick throwing event. Is that just what it is? Is that going to be on ESPN soon? Brick throwing event. Next up, we have we have one white contestant in here, going to be from Seattle. Now, they have a lot of background here. They can really fling a brick. Rochester is new at this, Fred. Rochester just started last week. So we're going to see Seattle against Rochester, who can fling the brick and get it through the window and cause the most destruction. Our judges are standing by. I'm serious. Do you get up and say to yourself, is this real? This, number 29, bad. This is bad. Bad, real bad. I mean, this is Portland. This is Oregon. This is American flags. Camo, little camo paint job. Bad. Right here, a rally. Peaceful rally, number 30. This is bad. This is real bad. Now, if you are a alleged, under investigation or whatever, rapist, yeah, exactly, wife beater, child beater, whatever the hell y'all you can be all you can be. It's not the new slogan. It's not the new slogan of the Army, like, be all you can be. It's the new Democrat slogan, be all the thug you can be, and we will support you through and through. Why, we will call you a hero. Sorry, folks. I mean, is this real? This is bad, according to them, okay? I'm just saying. I'm just saying you can't. Now, and the Biden campaign puts out an ad. And let's look at this. And in the ad, you would think they were addressing rioting, number 35. This is Biden campaign. Biden's ad. These are Trump supporters in the trucks, basically running into peaceful Black Lives Matter protesters. Unreal. Okay. Now, what would they think? Number 37. I got to have this one really quick. Number 37. What would they think right here? Trump tells reporter to take off mask during debriefing. Okay. What would they think if I sent them over the high school football picks for Friday night? Right here in Georgia, baby. Okay. Now, I love these polling data, this polling data. Now, folks, every single day will be some sort of, let's see, what am I looking for the word? Every single day there'll be new polling come out, and the new polling will continually have Joe Biden ahead. So just get ready for that, okay? It will continually have Joe Biden ahead, the new polling, all right? And every day will be some kind of scandal, Trump administration scandal. Every single day from here to election day, you just have to get ready. There'll be somebody come out, a former unnamed source in the Trump administration. Every single day will come out with something, okay? We'll find out tomorrow he keeps Snickers in the top drawer in the Oval Office and chews on them and smacks on them when he's in a meeting with military men and women to show more disrespect. I'm just serious, okay? So get ready. You got to be ready, because every single day there will be polling and some kind of scandal on the White House and President Trump. Who are these people that think Joe Biden can handle something? Number 38. Joe Biden has done nothing. He's handled nothing. He's been in the basement, period. In the basement. He has been in there, and he's handled absolutely nothing. So who are these people? Number 38. Do I have it up there? Okay, thank you. Joe Biden's handling of nationwide protest, okay, among Wisconsin registered voters. Registered voters, okay. The CBS YouGov, 51%. How do you like the way Joe Biden's handled nationwide protests? Well, considering his ass didn't have to do anything, considering he was sitting on his ass in a basement, considering he had nothing to do with it, period, I think he did a pretty good job. What the hell? I mean, my God. Okay, here's one I love. Number 39. President Trump's handling of the nationwide protest. Only 45% approve of his handling. Actually, they are judging him, whoever these people are, on the handling of the protest. But 45% only approve of the way he's handled it. Here's one I absolutely, this one cracks me up, okay? Number 41. Number 41. Which candidate would make you feel safe, more safe? Who would make you feel more safe? Joe Biden, 45, Donald Trump, 43. Donald Trump will come out of the basement and help you fight. Okay? Biden really, I'm concerned. I don't know that I want to be around or too close to the people that feel Biden makes you feel more safe. Will he open the door on the side of the basement and let you in? How does he make you feel more safe? So we'll go into more of that in just a minute. I've got about 3 minutes, and I want to say something. We got a lot we're getting into, but you cannot win Georgia. Now, if you're from out of state, if you got out of state plates on your car this morning, I want you to stay tuned here. But you cannot win Georgia without the 9th congressional district. Let me say this, okay? This is a direct point. Now, I spent Saturday afternoon with all my rowdy friends. That's what you want to call them, all right? And we went to the Dillard House, and we were there for about 5 hours and just enjoyed ourselves, really enjoyed ourselves. And I know it's Labor Day weekend, all right? And somebody's going to say, well, people are camping. People are out on their boat on Lake Lanier with their Trump flag. People are doing this, people doing that. All right, I get it, okay? But in the 9th district, you have to have the Republican turnout. They have the vote. You have to have the turnout. Right now, the state of Georgia, Republican Party has to ask the 9th district, please come out. Please add to the numbers. Please do not stay at home. Please. Saturday, I'm going to get into this. David Schaefer, the GOP chair, did not attend. I was disappointed, okay? He sent a representative, but I was disappointed, all right? David Perdue, Senator David Perdue did not attend, okay? But we understand he's had emergency knee replacement surgery. He sent his sister. His sister came. There were Perdue signs everywhere, Perdue stickers, okay? He did not attend. GOP Chair David Schaefer sent a representative, okay? Our Congressman Doug Collins was on duty this weekend. He was in training. We'll let him explain, okay? He's still with the National Guard, I understand. And he was at the military base this weekend training. His wife and 2 of his children attended. Senator Kelly Loeffler, don't give a rat's ass. Senator Loeffler, not one single sign, okay? Not one representative, not one. Nothing. No table, no signs, no stickers, no representative, nobody to speak for her. Her campaign is Georgia's greatest political stunt. And I'm going to talk about that later in the show. I'm going to take a break right now. When we return, we're going to have Congressman Doug Collins on the line with us for a couple minutes. Take us a break.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World has 9-piece living room packages at incredible prices. Get this stylish sofa and love seat, 3 tables, 2 lamps, 43-inch 4K TV, and stand, all for only $1699.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this 9-piece living room and reclining sofa and reclining love seat, now only $1999.99 or $149.99 a month. These packages are amazing. Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is more than just your average Ace. We have a huge selection of Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next trip. We have a huge selection of lumber for your next building project. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs. Plus, we have everything you'd expect, like paint, tools, and equipment.
Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hey, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. We're North Georgia's only live online morning show. And I myself am trying to remember it's Tuesday, day after Labor Day. Joining us now on the phone with us, 9th Congressional District Congressman and also candidate for Senate, Congressman Doug Collins. Congressman, how are you this morning?
I'm great, Brian. Hope everybody's doing well this morning. Nice, crisp, still feeling in the air, low humidity. Hey, life is good.
I enjoyed seeing your wife, Lisa, Jordan, and Copeland this past Saturday. We know you were at the Air Force drill. Tell us a little bit, when we hear Congressman Doug Collins is at the Air Force drill, on Air Force drill, what is that and why do you go? And let viewers that might not know that about you know why you're there.
No, but Brian, I appreciate it. I'm still in the Air Force Reserve. There's some folks who don't realize that I'm still a member of Congress, but I'm still an active Air Force reservist. I have been for almost 19 years. And we have to fulfill a certain amount of days. And this was part of my days. I'm trying to work out with the campaign season with Congress. And sometimes you have to work them in when you can. And I had some days I needed to work out this weekend. And I'm actually attached to the base at Warner Robins, but with COVID, we've had to make some changes in how we do that. But long weekend of working hard on our Air Force as we go along. And, that's been a good time. I enjoy doing it. I deployed, if you remember that, I deployed back in 2008, 2009 to Iraq. So the Air Force is in my blood. It's a duty. It's something I don't take lightly, and it's something that I enjoy doing.
Well, Congressman, I wanted to open with that for a reason, and I wanted to let you explain that to the people that you are in the Air Force Reserve. You have been deployed. These are things that I'm aware of. But because of that, let's go in the past 3 years, when Donald Trump, when President Trump became president of the United States, you early on supported the president. And throughout the last 3 years, not that you don't now, but throughout the last 3 years, a supporter and a fighter for the president of the United States, and you have gotten very close to him. So let me go with this. This is actually my question. As Air Force Reserve and being deployed with the men and women in this in our military around the world, How do you feel about the comments that they say President Trump, that they're accusing President Trump of saying? Do you feel they're true, false, degrading comments about the military? Is he that kind of guy? What say you?
No, he's not. In fact, I know him, and in fact, the thing that's been good for us is I had to live through. I've served under 3 presidents now. I've served under George W. Bush. I've served under Obama, and President Obama, and I've served under Donald Trump. And I'll tell you, the last 3.5 years, the military feels a pride that it has not had in a long time, especially after enduring, the last 5 or 6 years of the Obama administration, in which our budgets were cut, sequestration. I mean, it was just a constant disrespect. I mean, the issue of pulling out of Iraq. I mean, you just go back and back. Now there is a president who cares about us. He's passionate about America. He's passionate about what we believe in. I truly look. There are 8 people, I believe it is now, who were actually with him in the room during that time, who all went on record, not anonymous, went on record and said this didn't happen. Even John Bolton, who has not been a fan of the president lately, actually said, no, I was there. That didn't happen, is my understanding of the report that I read. So, look, this is you're less than 60 days before a presidential race in which the Democrats are desperate to win this seat. This is another smear campaign done by a hack job at the Atlantic Magazine or Biden. I mean, my question is why isn't the FEC asking for an in-kind campaign contribution on this? Because it's just ridiculous, but we see it over and over and over again. This president will come through this, and we're going to continue to support him as we go forward.
Well, it's interesting, as you and I both know, and this audience knows, is it's funny. On Monday, you could be the hero of the left, which John Bolton was at that time, and now all of a sudden they're disregarding his statement as being truthful. So, it switches very quickly. Well, I just wanted to ask you that because I do know, as a member of the military, to hear things that he would call them suckers and losers when I know Soleimani is dead, al-Baghdadi is dead. And, I was going through some of my memories this morning, and remember when he met with Kim Jong-un, we actually have gotten the remains from, I think it was 55 that they're still going through, of men that were, left behind there in North Korea, their remains. So I can't see his actions as somebody that is that degrading to our men and women in combat and wear the uniform.
I agree with you completely.
Congressman, they're calling it the blue shift. 80 million mail-in ballots have gone out. They don't expect those ballots to go out unless they come back as votes. What say you on election night results and how some of the things comment recently? We have a judge here in Georgia that I know the Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, is appealing, but we have a judge here in Georgia that says, hey, if it's mailed and postmarked November 3rd, we have to count it. How concerned are you with election night results and what's going on here in the last 50-some days of this campaign?
In Georgia, frankly, Brian, I'm not as concerned. I think we're going to turn out the vote. Georgia has a process. I was concerned early on last year when we sent out, this blanket application to anybody who wanted to get a ballot that was a registered voter. I think that was not the best way to do it, especially when we know the voter rolls are not, 100% accurate. And in Georgia, I think we're going to be fine. I'm more concerned with day of voting in some of these places, like as we always see, Fulton County, possibly DeKalb County and others that we always seem to have problems with and that's just historic. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Now, across the country, there are some states that I'm worried about, especially those who come online and new voters like in Nevada and places like that, which have not done mail-in balloting before. But we've also, in the states where it has been used, I think the Republican parties there, the candidates there know what they have to do and have to get that out. So, look, over the weekend as well, I mean, I read news reports this weekend, even at Drill, you do still get to read the news. And, I saw, just another massive weekend of just organic people turning out for vote rallies for President Trump. I mean, thousands of votes and people in these things and people beside them. Look, there's a desire for this country to get back to the economic conditions we've had before. There's a desire to keep this country moving forward. And people are seeing the difference between President Trump and Vice President Biden. And that's Donald Trump.
Lost you just for a second. Okay, Congressman, let's talk about your race right here for Senate in Georgia. Millions of dollars in advertising against you, accusation after accusation, and you have you're doing things to on a website to put what you call setting the record straight. What are some of the things that you would like to share with the audience that you say Kelly Loeffler, Senator Loeffler, has attacked you, or one of the political action committees like GUV, one of these committees, or your opponent? What are some of the things that are going on out there that you would like to set the record straight according to you?
Well, it's not a problem with setting the record straight, because when you have no record, as Senator Loeffler has, you have to make up things. And so you have to take down someone who has a record. There are three big things right off the bat that I can think of. Number one is pro-life. She bought a pro-life group, and she's tried to burnish her pro-life credentials. And she spent a lot of money doing it, including giving $3 million, or at least having a pro-life group who has all of a sudden found a lot of money. Talk about how good she was on life. Well, the problem is you know my daughter, pro-life for me and my daughter is who has spina bifida, is something we've known for years and have stood up against. But yet the reason she attacks me there is because her basketball team did a ticket sharing plan, not only split money with Planned Parenthood, but they also allowed them to have a booth and to promote themselves at one of the basketball games, in which, by the way, she attended. And she's the owner of the team. She knows what happens on her team. And if you break it down, that probably paid for about 1,400 abortions. I guess that's part of the thing. You're not a conservative. You're not what the governor said she was, is being pro-life. The next thing is Second Amendment. I mean, I'm a true kid from North. I know how to shoot, and I've been shooting. I've had a hunting license. I've shot all my life. Second Amendment is something my record, again, speaks to is fighting against Nadler and the rest of the crew. Again, though, you're doing this to hide. Senator Loeffler's hiding the fact that she worked with Michael Bloomberg, former mayor of New York, Democratic presidential candidate, on his gun control campaign with her team. And then this whole idea of a picture with Stacey Abrams and voting with her 300 times, it just shows the inexperience of Senator Loeffler and her team when she tries to take votes in the Georgia General Assembly, like, voting for, these things that happen in different towns and different stuff. The General Assembly in Georgia has a lot of votes that are more unanimous than we see in Congress. But the big thing is she's trying to hide the fact that Stacey Abrams was one of the attorneys for the Atlanta Dream basketball team. She's trying to hide the video fact that we showed last week that she was on the court honoring her as a woman of distinction while she was running against Brian Kemp for governor, and seemed to be having a big time about it as we go forward. And look, this last thing is this BLM stuff, and she tries to claim that she got protested and they stood up. Pretty funny. Standing up means shutting off your live feed and shutting off and cutting down the event. If that's your standing up, then maybe I'm a little confused on what standing up protesters, two of them, as a matter of fact, are. But she's also got to remember that she has a real problem with the BLM movement, because her basketball team from 2016 to 2019 actually supported the BLM movement even before it became popular with the WNBA. So, look, the reason you're spending a lot of money against me is because you're hiding stuff. And as Paul Harvey used to say on the radio, there's the rest of the story.
Well, I tell you what, it's kind of disingenuous to I'm reading a headline: Georgia senator whose event was disrupted by Black Lives Matter says she's holding rioters and DAs accountable. We had a reporter there, and it got a little loud, but it wasn't like a Black Lives Matter rally in Portland that she stood up to. It was, a couple of people yelling, and I guess she's trying to get all the political mileage she can out of it. But I'm looking at her basically endorsing Stacey Abrams on a basketball court in a video while they're putting out pictures of you and Stacey Abrams. So I want to cover that, because you know what? I was at an event last week, and there was two things, and I'm going to actually tell you exactly two things that about 50 people were there that came up, said to me. Number one, they said, I really like, and this is what they're selling with their money. 3 people said, I really like she's been endorsed by the President of the United States. Now, she's not been endorsed by the President of the United States, and also you have not officially been endorsed. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. But let me remind all of your listeners as well. I was the president's preferred pick. I think the president's already spoke about who he liked in this race.
Yes.
He did it last fall. He stayed out of it since then, but he stated that first. And look, she's desperate to try and do anything. So that's correct. Again, that's what they're trying to buy money. And 50 people in Gilmer County, which I bet a half was half. Yeah, we'll see.
Well, no, I mean, I'm just sharing with you. That is what the advertising they're trying to buy is trying to say that they've been endorsed. And the other thing is, three or four people come up to me and said, well, I don't like Doug Collins had his picture with Stacey Abrams. I'm like, really? Wow. What a lot of people forget that don't go back. You did serve in the Georgia State House. And you did serve with a lot of Democrats, like you now are serving in Congress with a lot of Democrats. So what say you to the picture that they send around of you and Stacey Abrams?
It's a cover up. They're trying to show that I'm not a conservative in this issue, and they're trying to use Stacey Abrams as the foil. And it's really interesting to me. Every time they try to hit, they're really trying to hide or distract from her own problem as it goes here. Look, the bottom line is this. Senator Loeffler was not the same person she was last year. Her own team, her own CEO, people that I've talked to have said, this is not the Kelly Loeffler we know that is now a member of the Senate. Her handlers have told her she has to be conservative like Doug Collins. And it's just not fitting. And their narrative doesn't fit, because when you look at her past, it doesn't fit her current. When she says she stands up to Black Lives Matter because she signed on to a bill with Tom Cotton, really, that's standing up for Loeffler to Black Lives Matter when your team actually supported. And last year, you actually said that it was okay to protest the national anthem. Give me a break. Be who you are. If you want to become somebody else, fine. But this isn't working. And spending a lot of money, Georgia's not going to be bought. They're not going to be bought with a slick ad and slick production on somebody who, frankly, is is just portraying themselves as something they're not. People know authenticity. I've been with them for years. They know who I am. Whether they agree with me or disagree with me, they know where I stand. Senator Loeffler has yet to figure that out, because she was appointed to something that is not, and to become something she's not. That's why you're having trouble. That's why she don't answer your questions. That's why her and Joe Biden have something in common. Joe Biden and Kelly Loeffler have something in common. They do stage press conferences and take no questions. I mean, I guess that's where you want to run it, good, but I'm not going to do that. I never will, never have.
She doesn't take any questions. Now, Congressman, it's not just me. It doesn't matter where she goes. She doesn't take questions. The only time she will take any questions, if it's a set up media event, she knows who's there. Her press secretary knows who they're going to pick. And I'm sorry, it's just the bottom line. I've been to several. I've watched it, and I know what they're doing. I mean, my concern is, if you're not going to stand up and just let people ask you questions. I mean, the president of the United States, let me ask you this, okay? Sometimes my interviews turn in too much to a conversation. I apologize. But every day the American people watch the president of the United States walk out of the White House, going somewhere to see the American people. And what does he do before he gets on Marine Force One? If there's 10 or 20 reporters there, he lets them just go one right after another, ask whatever they want, right? You can tell that the president's not setting that up in any way. He's just taking questions. So how can you say you're a 100% supporter of the president when you can't even act enough like the president to take questions when you go out? And I know you do. I'm just saying, I didn't mean to get in that, but that how can you do that? And she will not take any questions.
Well, I mean, look, she's not. I mean, she's also made a couple other claims that she's, most conservative member of the Senate. That's not true. She hasn't been there long enough to take any votes. Number two, she's not been 100% support of the president because she voted for an NDAA bill that the president said he was going to veto. So that's just, PolitiFact check it right there. She's just wrong. But my question is just say that we wasn't in the race. Maybe say that she wins this, which is not, we don't believe is going to happen. How is she going to stand up to Raphael Warnock? How is she going to stand up to the Democratic onslaught of media in this thing? This is what we've got to do. We've got to have somebody who's willing to go to the mat for the American people, somebody who has been in front of a barrage of cameras, somebody who's actually done that. The president does it all the time. At every one of my meetings, I'll give my stump speech, and then I say, anybody have any questions? And I will stand there for questions, even planted questions from her side. And I know they are when I go to the GOPs, because
Right.
you know they're sitting there reading their phone and they're reading the question as they ask me the question. But I'll answer all of those questions as I go through. I just believe you owe it to the people you're asking for a vote from to answer their questions. And frankly, she doesn't do that. If that's the way she wants to run her campaign, I think people will see through it. But we're always going to be who we are, and that is answer questions, take questions from the media. Look, y'all's job is to ask questions. Our job is to answer questions. That's the bottom line of this. But Georgia deserves better than a cue card answer from a sitting senator. And David Perdue answers questions, everybody, but she just wants to avoid it because, frankly, I don't think they like her answers when they give them, because even last week it was, her only answer to the Stacey Abrams and the Planned Parenthood, she said it was fake news. I mean, that's not an answer. The president has right when he says it's fake news, because they slander him all the time. But to answer the question when you're called, when Planned Parenthood, the rest of them say we did it, then you got to answer the question.
You know what? I'll tell you what. I know you got to go, but I was thinking the same thing. Senator Perdue in 2014 had Ted Cruz come in. Senator Ted Cruz came in to campaign with him. I went to an event in Canton. I got to ask Senator Ted Cruz 3 questions. Okay. This past summer, Senator Rand Paul came into Gainesville to campaign with a candidate. He gave me an 8-minute interview. I got it on tape, both of them. All right. The list goes on and on. Tom Cotton comes in last week to, Gilmer County, Georgia. How often do I get 2 senators? And I just wanted to ask a couple questions. I wasn't going to do any gotcha, questions. And they ran for the car, both of them. And I was like, well, okay. So, I mean, I'm just saying, and I want to leave that alone. We're running out of time. Internal polling. What do you see right now? What kind of internal polling do you guys have? We get this every day, and I call it poll derangement syndrome that's coming up every day with the president. But what do you guys see in your race and how it's going?
We're seeing after Labor Day, we're seeing us in a perfect position to win this race. We're ahead. Republican voters know who we are. We're going to continue that fight through the election. But we feel really good. If you'd have told me after having a candidate who has no background spends $25-30 million attacking me mercifully for 9 months, and we were able just to go campaign, do what we need to do, and you tell me that we're still ahead come Labor Day, and they know it as well. I'll say that I'm comfortable. This race will be close to the end. We're going to win it, but we're not giving. We're moving right ahead, and we feel really good because we're just getting started, Brian. I tell everybody, get ready. This is going to be another great week. Last week was a great week. This week's going to be a great week because we're on the offense for the people of Georgia. We're the ones fighting for them. They know it. Everywhere we go, our crowds have been bigger. Our crowds have been growing, and they want to know how they can help. And that's been a real help to us. And we're excited about the last 8 weeks of this campaign.
How is fundraising going?
It's been going well. People are they're getting engaged, and we're doing the things that we need to do to pay for what we need to pay, and that's to get our message to the people of Georgia. And frankly, we're having not only the people of Georgia respond, but all over. So that's been good. Look, I'm not the candidate who writes themselves $5 million checks or writes checks to other people to get them to help. I'm the one who actually goes out and raises the money and actually has people who send me donations, $5, $10 donations. This has been, over the past month, we've had over 8,000 new donors, just in small donors, and folks who give big donors. They're just wanting to say they support what we're doing, and that means the world, and it's going to keep us going for these next 8 weeks, and we're excited about it.
Congressman, we've got to close. Anything we didn't talk about today that you wanted to make sure that our viewers out here that I didn't get in the conversation?
The thing that I want to say is, especially for Republican voters, don't think that just because we're in Georgia, everything's okay. Get out and register. If you're not registered to vote, register to vote. If you got your neighbor who just moved into the state, make sure they register to vote. Talk about why it matters to reelect the president, why it matters to reelect David Perdue, why it matters to vote for Doug Collins, because these are the things that matter as we go into November 3rd, because we have a nation worth fighting for, and they've got to get out and they've got to get engaged in this campaign.
Thank you, Congressman. We appreciate it. We wish you well on the campaign trail. We'll have you back on real soon. Thank you, sir. All right, folks.
Thank you, Brian. Take care.
All right, folks. Congressman Doug Collins, 9th Congressional District Congressman, and also Senate candidate Doug Collins. We're going to take a break, and when we return, we'll have another candidate on with us, a little bit local, but on the other side of the aisle. Right back after these messages.
Circuit World has complete queen bedroom packages at amazing prices. Get this queen bed, dresser and mirror, one nightstand, bedding set, and free 32-inch TV, all for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this complete queen bedroom set and sleep in style, also for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. What an incredible deal! Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
If you want big Chevy discounts, Days Chevrolet in Jasper gets it done with savings of $8,000 on new Chevy Equinox or up to $10,000 savings off new Silverado crew cabs. We're big on discounts and even bigger on customer service. See Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevys always cost less. Days Chevrolet, Days gets it done. Find new roads.
Hey, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Our next guest is about 3 minutes, so don't go anywhere. As soon as our guest calls in, we're going to slide over to my show card as you're used to, and we're going to get the guest on the phone, make sure we have good audio, and then slide right back. So we're not leaving you here in just a minute or two. Our next guest is a Democrat that he comments on almost everything I write on social media, everything. And he is a Democrat, and I think you're going to enjoy this. Rick Day. I think you're going to enjoy this, and we're going to have a brief conversation with him. And it's already, and we're not done because we have a lot to do today. We're going to talk about Kelly Loeffler and her behind the curtain campaign. So Congressman Doug Collins, as you well know, running against Kelly Loeffler and Warnock. There are 21 candidates in that race. So hold on just a second, folks. Give me number one. A serious situation. Now, Dick Morris predicts, and that's the concern that some have, is when we see that Dick Morris is the one making this prediction. But he's not the only one. All right, folks. They are calling it the Democrat. They're calling it the blue shift, not blue wave, the blue shift. And last week we reported early in the week about what they're calling the red mirage. Okay, that Donald Trump wins in a landslide, wins in a landslide on election night. But as the days go on and the Democrat votes come in, all right, there's our caller. Okay, take us to card. We'll be back in about 10 seconds. All right, folks, we're back, and joining me now, Democrat candidate for the Georgia State House of Representatives, District 7, Rick Day. Rick, how are you?
Yes, good morning, Brian. Good morning, North Georgia. I'm doing just peachy.
Peachy, okay. So I told people before you came on, you comment every time I write something on Facebook. You seem to make sure that you give me your side. So I thought, hey, let's get you on the show and let me give you your side right here on the show, right?
Well, I appreciate that, Brian. Unlike some other conservative news outlets, you seem to be much more fair and impartial, much to the consternation of the majority of your viewership and listenership. I do have to commend you that you do put up with a lot, and I appreciate that.
All right, so when we talk about you coming on the show, I didn't know who would ask the most questions, because usually if you're doing an interview and a candidate asks you a question, you come back and say, hey, I'm asking the questions here. But I figured you probably had plenty for me. Now you do know, because you do understand that when I do the show, I have about 7 or 8 Trump hats on the desk. You understand that, right?
Yes, I've seen your temple. Yes, I've seen the altar.
You've seen the altar? Is that what you call it?
Yes.
Okay, so you're running for office. This is your second attempt running for this office, State House District 7. Why are you running for office, Rick?
Because I was asked to. Basically, the Democrats wanted to make a very strong statement this election cycle, and they really worked deep to get an amazing number of candidates on the ballot. The reason why, and it's the same reason why I ran before, this state is in a mess, and this is David Ralston's state, okay? It's his state. It's his budget. It's his laws that are passed. It's his agenda, okay, and has been since he's speaker. Now, David Ralston, inarguably, is the most powerful political person in the state of Georgia. The second most powerful person is probably Stacey Abrams. Brian Kemp's 3 or 4 down on the list, but Ralston is the kingmaker here, okay? This entire landscape that we have is David Ralston's landscape. This is his vision for Georgia. He started touting how one more time they made a list on a on a Georgia-based magazine that Georgia again was #1 for business, and touts that as something that's actually good, when in reality it doesn't necessarily translate to the average person benefiting from it, other than a low-paying job. So I ran because it's time to legalize cannabis, and as David has stated that he will never ever do that as long as he is in charge. Now, can I beat David? Because that's part. That's a fair question. Of course not. I had an analytical program that somebody that was, let's just say high up in the DNC, allowed me access to it, and it analyzed my election, okay, and my campaign. It told me that I needed to raise $1.4 million in order to possibly beat David Ralston. Now, I don't know Michael Bloomberg. I don't know a lot of rich people. And I don't even know if 1.4 million is enough to deprogram people enough to hold their nose and vote for an evil Democrat. There's a lot of hubris up here. There's a lot of misinformation, and there's a lot of fear. And I can't break through that. I can't do it. And it's really not my job to do it. I'm just here as an alternative. There are a lot of people who are not happy with David Ralston on both sides of the aisle, but he's a conservative, or he pretends to be a conservative. He's actually a corporatocrat, but he talks the talk, and the people believe it. And folks up here are going to vote for an R over a D. I can't beat that. That doesn't matter. I'm still running because I want to give all of you listening and other people who are not listening an option, just an option. David has run unopposed for so long that he thinks he's the kingmaker. And David is just one or two more legislators away from passing himself a $400,000 a year a pension. And he tried to get that through before. Well, now we had the pandemic and we've got budget shortfalls and stuff. Well, he may not get that, but that's kind of his plan. He just wants to kind of pop out here. So let me summarize this by saying David is in peril. Okay, you should vote for me over David, because David's power all lies within the speakership. But it's only going to take a flip of 15 out of 135, 140. I'm sorry. It's only going to take 15 House flips to Democrat for the GOP to lose the majority. And he will no longer be the Speaker of the House, powerful Speaker of the House. He's just going to be another guy sitting on a committee. That's not going to do any good for this district. However, the Democrats who are in charge will recognize that I'm a Democrat, or running as a Democrat, or at least more liberal than David is, and I can work with them as a bridge so that we can finally get something other than just little things, little grants and these little photo ops and all this and that David kind of doles out up here to pretend like he represents us. So that's really why I'm running, to give people an option and to try to do my best to keep him as occupied as I can while he runs all over the state. Also, and I'll just come out and say it, and Brian, you and I have talked about this before, and we said it off record, so I'll say it on record. I'm here in case David gets sick. If he's running all over the place without a mask, and he's not in the best of health anyway. And if he gets sick, somebody's got to be able to step up and do the job, and not just some camp appointee up here, whoever the next person in line, or his son, or whoever. So that's really, in a large nutshell, why I am running up here in this impossible to win election.
Okay, so let me say this. I heard a whole lot of Democrat talking points. Number one, I feel the Democrat Party is their MO right now is to say Donald Trump's America as many times as they could say it. Donald Trump's America. So it looks like, I don't know if they've sent anything out from the home office, but it looks like you're using that same line, David Ralston State. You use that over and over, David Ralston, David Ralston. So that's a Democrat talking point. Two, if David gets sick, okay, you're here, Democrat talking point. So obviously, let me get back to something before we go into all the comments you made about the House Speaker in Georgia. And I also want to talk about the 15 House flips that the Democrat Party is looking for. You support and have always, that I'm aware of, that I've known, you supported Bernie Sanders, correct?
Bernie Sanders, yes. Oh,
yes.
Since 1997, when he stood up to Bill Clinton, who betrayed the Democratic Party by becoming a neoliberal conservative, Bernie stood up to him, and I was like, oh, hello, here's a guy, here's an RFK era Democrat, okay, and he's talking about helping the people, where everybody else is talking about jobs and and helping corporations. And so yes, I have been a long time
Bernie Sanders supporter.
Yeah,
correct.
Bernie Sanders supporter. Yes.
All right. So now you believe you endorse the Green New Deal, correct?
I'm sorry, the what deal?
The Green New Deal. You endorse the Green New Deal.
I don't have an opinion on the Green New Deal. Brian, I know it might surprise you, and especially as a candidate, but as a human being, I don't have to have an opinion on everything. I don't have to be an expert. I don't have to even read about it, okay? A Green New Deal right now is just a word, it's a phrase that's bounced back and forth like a tennis ball between the left and the right. And it's just a game I don't want to play in. So no, I don't endorse the Green Deal. I endorse clean energy over dirty coal, so I'll go that far, but Green New Deal, I really don't have an opinion one way or another on that. That's something that's not going to impact me as a state representative. So it's outside of my purveyance, and I'm trying to focus on issues.
I think environmental issues will be things that states deal with and have to deal with as far as state regulations and Georgia EPD and things of that nature. So I do think there are things that impact. But let me move on there with Bernie Sanders. You support Medicare for all?
I turned 65 in 5 weeks, and I automatically got signed up for Medicare. And here I am, and I've got really good. My wife works for the federal government. She gets the best health care that there is. I'm still covered under that, so I don't have to go to Medicare B. And I'm sitting here like, why am I privileged just because I hit a certain number? And the reason why I'm privileged is because the Republicans way back in the 80s changed the age. I believe it was 50 originally, and they bumped it up to 65. So why am I privileged for this? Why can't my granddaughter have the same kind of privilege that I have here? Why can't my son? Why does he have to pay 35 to 40% of his salary to just cover a minimum health care plan? Heck yes. Let's tax the rich and let's get on with this. Let's get these middlemen, useless middlemen called the insurance industry out of this. When I was a kid, Brian, when I was a kid, my dad worked for the railroad. And when I was about 10 or 11 years old, they got traveler's insurance, medical insurance. And then suddenly my mom was best friends with the doctor. And I spent more time in the hospital with the most useless stuff All right. It turned out later that my mom and this doctor were splitting money from the insurance company. Okay. And they were using me as a billing device. All right. So I kind of have a little hard-nosed attitude when it comes to insurance companies and also trusting people you should trust. So yes, I think that if every country in the world can do this except the United States, that tells me something. It should tell you something too. So when the ne'er-do-well say we can't do it, or blah 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 blah, I don't want the government my health care. Well, you want government in abortion, okay? So you can't have it both ways. If you want to have government intrude into your health care by abortion, then they should be able to intrude in your health care to make sure that you get good, affordable, and quality care.
All right. So yes on Medicare for all, and you would raise taxes to pay for it.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part.
Yes to Medicare for all, and you would raise taxes to pay for it.
On the rich, yes. Anybody?
What's the rich? Just identify
400,000.
So you're taking the new Joe Biden number of 400,000.
Joe Biden's taking mine. You know.
Oh, he took yours. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, just because somebody has a position on an issue does not mean that they claim it or that they came up with it or anything like that. It's just it's something that the right can't comprehend. It's called consensus.
All right, I've got a question for you.
Okay.
You brought up, and what I do here now, Rick, what I do here is I never ask a question and go into something that I may feel is inappropriate or personal. Okay. But you brought up your children, correct? You said your son, right? You brought up your children, correct? I did not. Okay.
Yes.
Now my question, no, wait a minute. My question for you, and because you talked about the amount of money your son has to pay for insurance, and we'll go with that. Now let's talk about abortion. And here's what I say. I personalize it, and it's not to be ugly. But when did you decide, you and your wife, that was your son? At conception, halfway in, did the two of you get excited and say, "That's my son"? At the time, now look, people have a right to choose. The Supreme Court said that. But if you are pro-choice, and I want to ask you if you are, at what point is that your son or daughter? And at what point do you say, no, an abortion's just not right or should not be? So what say you on abortion and the way I just laid it out?
Well, yes, here we go. Tripping through the minefield. Okay, first of all, if abortion had been legal when I was conceived, I probably would have been aborted. Like David Rawson's the defendant, my biological father was a traveling evangelical minister who got my 15-year-old mother pregnant and skipped out. Fortunately, she found a good man to marry real fast, fooled him, got him in, and they're still married and alive today. And that's 65 years ago. So if abortion had been legal back then, I probably wouldn't be in existence. So I think I have an opinion on this. All right.
I'm giving you the floor for your opinion. I just want to know. There's the heartbeat bill, and when do you decide this is your child? Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So when did I decide it was my child? When I personally viewed him coming out of my wife's belly, because I was doing that, and he took his first breath and his first scream, and the doctor thumbed up me and said everything's cool, that's when it became my son. Okay. Before that, it became an anticipation of a life to come. All right. So you want to know
an anticipation of a life to come?
Yes.
Okay. So did you ever go and have the ultrasounds and get excited to hear the heartbeat? A heartbeat's an anticipation of a life to come, or is a heartbeat life?
But Brian, we wanted the child. We both wanted. Okay.
I'm good with that, but I mean, it's different. But you said anticipating a life to come. I'm just saying, okay. I mean, I'm just wondering. You have two candidates on the ballot, a presidential candidate and a vice presidential candidate that is okay with abortion, even at the point of the birth canal. And you have some, including the vice presidential candidate, that could be okay with abortion afterwards. And I don't want to take all our time on that, but I'm just saying, I mean, it's really something that people are stopping to think about is where do you say you draw the line?
Here's where I draw the line, Brian. I draw the line at government intrusion. Okay? When the government steps in between a patient and a doctor and says, no, you can't do this. No, you can't do that procedure. You are opening up a floodgate of potential abuse by the government to enforce compliance for anything that the next president comes up with. It's a precedent that the Supreme Court has repeatedly said, we can't go there, okay? Stop blaming the liberals. Stop blaming the Democrats. You blame SCOTUS, okay? You blame your precious conservative judges who you just knew and prayed that if we bought all of this crap that the GOP is selling us because of abortion, if your only reason for voting GOP and against Democrats is the issue of abortion, you've been taken. It's not going to change. It's just rhetoric. And that's all it is. Kamala Harris thinks this. So what? They're not SCOTUS. They're not going to change laws. Okay? They're not. It's a smokescreen. Okay? It's a smokescreen issue that keeps the right wing riled up. Okay? Good people. I know the good people up here. And they look at me and they go, Rick, you're a good guy. I like you. I like your ideas. But you're a Democrat, and I'm against abortion. I'm going to vote against it. And that, Brian, is exactly what your rhetoric perpetuates, okay? The right-wing agenda of cramming the issue of dead babies and this and that and Hillary eating dead babies and all this stuff. It's ridiculous, okay? It's annoying, and it makes me not want to vote for the GOP. It doesn't even want to make me sit next to any of you at church. That's how ridiculous you all sound. And I can't do anything about it. You're past it. You look at them, Brian, look at it. You've got all those cheap Chinese cats sitting all in front of you like an altar to the president. You're in a cult. I can't help that.
No, I'm okay with that.
You love the president, and you attack anybody who you do.
No, I don't attack. I don't attack. I hear somebody say that you call it anticipating a life to come. I could care less about all the politics of it. I'm pro-life. I just said, hey, I'm not okay with that. And you call it smokescreen, right wing. I get it. And you say SCOTUS. I get it. I'm with you. Okay.
Government intrusion.
I understand. I understand where you're going. But when you say I attacked, I disagree. First of all, for the record, I have never is a big word. I've never said on this show that Hillary Clinton has anything to do with eating babies. I've never said that. Now I do bring up, I'm very concerned on how Vince Foster shot himself in the back of the head and committed suicide. But outside of that, Rick, I've not said Hillary Clinton. Let's
well, now that's not true, Brian, because I'm sitting here looking at this screen from this morning. All right.
Yes.
And you've got a picture of scary Stacey Abrams and corporate Karen Kelly Loeffler, and they're at a WNBA game where I would venture to say the majority of the people who watch that are probably African American, and they like Stacey Abrams, and you're angry, or your words up here.
No, you're angry. We're not angry. You're angry. No, I talk to Democrats all the time. I don't know why you guys are all angry.
No, don't let me in with those guys, okay?
Oh, wait a minute. I can't lump you in, but you can lump me in.
No, you represent. Okay, when I talk to you, Brian. Okay, I'm not talking about you personally. Okay,
I know that. I know that.
About the philosophy and the voters who agree with you on certain issues. Okay, and the one issue that I wanted to talk to you about was Stacey Abrams. Okay, you don't like Stacey Abrams.
Correct.
You go out of your way.
Not out of my way, but
Okay. You use Stacey as basically a tar baby. Okay.
Oh, that was wrong. That was wrong.
It is wrong. It's wrong.
Cold, man.
Come on now. Fess up. Look at
now. If I say that, you are in the Democratic Party. If I say that, oh my God, they would go nuts. That's just wrong. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Keep it going.
Okay, I will if you'll stop interrupting me. Okay.
All right, go ahead.
So you're saying basically that Kelly should sell her team.
Yes.
Why? Why? Okay, because she had Stacey Abrams on as a guest one time. You've got a picture of them together, and it's disparaging. Everybody knows that you shill for Doug Collins.
Oh, get real.
You do. Okay. You chased Kelly Loeffler down in a situation that you knew that she could not win. Okay, so
why couldn't she? Why couldn't she?
Because it was. I don't know. Because she's a corporate fat cat, and you keep voting for corporate fat cats, you guys.
Well, wait a minute. Slow down. Slow down. I'll give you time, but let's go back there. Okay. Let's go back there. Slow down. Let's paint a different picture, because what we're doing here is we're painting pictures. Okay. So slow down. Calm
down, Brian.
Bob Ross. Just a second. Okay.
Bring the tone down a little. Okay. You're a little excited.
Yes. Well, you know me very well, Rick. David Perdue in 2014. Now, we are a small business in North Georgia. Okay. And we're not the corporate. Now, I always get a little grief for this because we are a corporation, but we are not the corporate, as I call them, corrupt media, the big networks. We're not the big networks with money.
Yes, and I support your hashtag to turn off network news.
All right, so David Perdue campaigned in 2014. Senator Ted Cruz came to town, to campaign. I got 3 questions. Senator Cruz, I've been doing this for a long time, Rick. Senator Cruz, I just got 3 questions, didn't ask, who I am. I got 3 questions. Rand Paul came here recently. I got a 6-minute interview, all right? I've got a list a mile long of people that at these events, I've gone to hundreds of them, that I get an opportunity. Oliver North. And this is not whether you like these people or not. The other day, Senator Tom Cotton comes to Gilmer County. How often do I get a question with Senator Tom Cotton or someone like that? Rick, I should have got a couple questions, period. And so that's a different story for Loeffler. But that's not running interference for Doug Collins. I mean, I understand why you think that, but he's our congressman here. He's your congressman. He's my congressman. Okay.
Well, you see, Brian, here's the problem. You expected Kelly Loeffler and Tom Cotton to be cordial to you.
Yes.
They don't care about you. They're filthy rich.
You're right. You're 100% right. They don't care. They got in that car. They could care less. But then you come after me saying I'm just running interference for Doug Collins.
Come on. Do you support Doug Collins over Kelly Loeffler? Yes or no?
There's 21 candidates. I will not answer that over. I will not be put in that over box. Doug Collins, Kelly Loeffler. Doug Collins is my congressman. He's your congressman, okay? Kelly Loeffler is appointed by Brian Kemp, which I've been very vocal about. So people can't say I've taken, won't take on a Republican, okay? I've been very vocal about this representing or appointing Kelly Loeffler. But there's
she's not a Republican.
Right.
She's a
we know that. We know that. But why are you going for me for Doug Collins? There's 21 candidates. People have watched this show. There's Reverend Warnock. There's Lieberman. There's 21 candidates in this race.
You know who I support?
Who?
You want to know who I support?
Yeah, I want to know.
Richard Wingfield. He's way down on the list, but he talks like Bernie Sanders.
But he's way down on the list, right?
Yeah,
And
but that's who I support. I mean, it's here's the thing, okay? Politics has become a win-lose game, team versus team thing for a lot of people. But I'm above that. You keep calling me a Democrat, keep calling me a liberal. No, I just can't vote with the GOP. So I'm only left with the left. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. You know, I'm an independent. It's just an independent is not going to get on the ballot, and they're not going to do any good. So why not run as a Democrat? I don't. Here's the problem with the GOP in a nutshell. They don't stand for anything other than opposing the Democrat.
Oh, come on.
And supporting the president. We support the president. What? Hey, look, when Donald Trump was elected, you had SCOTUS, 2/3 of the state house. You had the House, you had the Senate, and you had the White House. What got passed? How come Obamacare's still here?
Wait,
Okay?
whoa. Valid point.
Business as usual. Okay. That's what I'm saying. You guys are falling for a narrative. I don't fall for Joe
Who's
Biden.
falling for a narrative? Wait a minute. Let's not gloss over the falling for a narrative. You said, okay, wait a minute. You said, all right, that when Trump got elected, we had the Senate, we had the House, we had the White House. Okay. All right. Why didn't we get rid of Obamacare as we promised? Right. I got it. Okay. Let's stay with that for just a minute. When Barack Obama was elected, your party had the White House, the Senate, and you had the House of Representatives. And in the Senate, you had what's called a supermajority, meaning you had the 60. Okay. Mm-hmm. You could have, and I mean, your party could have done anything. You could have solved systematic racism, as you call it. Okay. You could have solved it. You could have changed. You could have defunded law enforcement. You could have changed law enforcement. You could have changed everything, and you chose not to. Hey,
well,
come on.
True.
What do you mean it's not true?
They did pass the Affordable Care Act.
That's
okay?
it. That's it. But if Barack Hussein Obama...
Brian, please, listen. Okay, they also passed the community policing programs, and they were funding that, okay, so that the law enforcement was not so adversarial, and they were like working with the neighborhoods, and community policing works. Kamala Harris supports that. I support it also. Okay?
So you support defunding law enforcement?
Listen, I've always supported that, Brian. The cops get too much money to do the two wrong things, okay? They need less money so they'll concentrate on the right things. And that money, where does it go from one budget to another? Where should it go? Back into the community, back into education, back into trying to figure out why these young people get into trouble and try to give them some alternatives to gangs and violence and drug sales and things like that. Okay, that's what community policing is. Here's the problem, Brian. We live in the country.
Policing.
They live in the city. We have different viewpoints. We have different priorities. Okay, when you hear about the problems that the one community in the urban area is having with police officers, you're not having the same problem because you're not a target. You're not a target of these kind of things. And these people think they are, whether they are or not, they think they are. So they're doing their First Amendment rights to get out there and protest. No, I do not support rioting. No, I do not support the destruction of property. But no, I don't support going out and shooting protesters either. Okay, so when 2A is 2A for a reason. Okay, the Second Amendment is the second one. The First Amendment is the primary one. The Second Amendment backs up the First Amendment. And when I see these guys out here that 4 or 5 months ago were out with their guns and they were protesting having to wear a mask, and now they're out with guns, thinking that they're going to protect property and stuff like that. Wait a minute, okay? Where's the the government tyranny's coming in with these federal agents and officers and stuff. The protesters need the protection, but they're not. They're targets of
the protesters need protection. Rick, these people are paid agitators. They are paid rioters.
Not.
Yes, they are.
They're not.
Well, how are they affording to get to city? How are they having bricks delivered? Who's paying the bills? Who's paying the motel bills? Who's playing
Okay.
the airfare? How do
You're
how do you
galloping.
have something happen and 2 hours later you have organized riots ready to go? Rochester.
Brian, you're gish galloping.
Oh,
Okay?
come on.
You're throwing out all kinds of stuff here and hoping something will stick. And we're not going to solve that in this conversation here. Okay. So I can't really address any of those things because I fundamentally disagree that some of those things are happening or that they're happening with a purpose or that they may not be agents provocateurs because police like violence. Okay. When the violence happens, the police can step in and they can knock heads. Okay.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So Jacob Blake, okay. First of all, the police, let's not try to solve that. Okay, but Jacob Blake, the police were called there that day. They were called there, okay? So you think what happened in Kenosha is okay, not with Jacob Blake or the shooting. You think it's okay, the rioting, the burning, the looting. Do you think any of that's okay, or should you as a party be doing everything to stop it?
No, we shouldn't. It's a First Amendment right to get out in the streets and protest. These protesters, they make you uncomfortable, don't they, Brian?
No, protesters don't make me uncomfortable. I don't care to share. I was part of the 1 million people that was on the White House South Lawn at the Tea Party rally. I was there. The pictures, they said it was 300,000, 200,000. I was there. I am okay with peaceful protests. I have been there. I have been to protests before, but these are not peaceful. These are not peaceful protests.
Almost all of the protests have been generally peaceful.
No, Rick, we got to move on from that because we're not going to get anywhere because they have not been generally peaceful protesters. They've not. It's just
well, Ryan, we're just going to have to disagree because you're getting your news source from somebody who's trying to keep your fear factor up. And I'm reading from different sources and stuff. I'm watching live views of the Stone Mountain incident where you had the militias and I don't give a F's black militia, and they were there and they were nose to nose in the neighborhood. I was watching that. Okay. These people are passionate about their positions and they're going to go out there and exercise their First Amendment right to express their frustration and their anger. And the militia is allowed to come out there and express their frustration and anger at how they don't understand the concept of Black Lives Matter. And so I've watched.
What is the concept of Black Lives Matter? Now I know. Come on, tell me, because I know you read. What's the concept about Black Lives Matter, Rick? Tell us what that is.
The basic concept of Black Lives Matter is that there has been a history with the police and law enforcement and the African American community. It predates slavery. Georgia was set up as a penal colony. That was our first major role or source of income. But even before agriculture, we were a prison. And you have to fill prisons with people. And we don't have to go through the whole history of Jim Crow laws and all that other stuff, which is if I'm elected, I want to gut the code and remove most of those stupid punitive laws that were enacted to feed the prison chain gangs in the early 20th century. Okay. And those things, especially the drug laws and things like that, are disproportionately impacting the African American community when you look at statistics. Okay. Now, what's happened is that every time there's a questionable shooting, especially if the person was unarmed, the police are getting off. They're getting off. Okay. The Supreme Court has given them qualified immunity, and now you have the authority of life or death. And all a cop has to say is, I feel like my life was threatened, or I was being threatened. So that's the way that cop that shot that young man in Kenosha, shot him 7 times in the back. He's going to claim he felt he was threatened because the guy was getting into his car, and it turned out that there was a knife under there, but the cop didn't know that. And he shot him in the back 7 times. Okay. It just seems like nobody cares. So the only people that seem to care are African Americans because it impacts their community disproportionately. Okay. And so they organized after the young man in Missouri. I can't remember. There's been so many bodies. I can't remember his name. Jamal Brown, I think. I can't remember. I'm not going to guess. And that they finally organized and they said, look, Black Lives Matter. And it seems like that nobody understands that. So we need to be more vocal about it, okay? The word Black Lives Matter is meant to draw attention to an issue of what some perceive as systemic racism within the law enforcement community and within the criminal justice system in general. When you have people talk about reforming criminal justice, that's what they're talking about. Okay. No, when you talk about defund the police, that doesn't mean that they're going to be driving around in Volkswagens. It just means they're not going to have the money for large military gear. They're not going to be able to do these no-knock, kick-in-the-door search warrants where people like Breonna Taylor lose their lives. And that's Breonna Taylor. Look at that.
Right, Rick.
Does her life matter? Does her life matter, Brian? Yes, it does. Okay. Do white lives matter? Not in the context of Black Lives Matter because we're not a target.
Oh,
okay?
Rick, in the interest of time, we got some good stuff we need to cover. You say Black Lives Matter, white lives do not matter in the context. Rick, you know what? You and I both know the truth on Black Lives Matter, okay? And if you're going to buy into that, you come after me of me buying into the shrine and my temple and all this. I think much better of you not to buy into that nonsense you just tried to sell me. Now, Joe Biden, let's go into this. Joe Biden's there for 47 years. Do you really support Joe Biden? Are Democrats excited about Joe Biden? And what can he do to refresh and get Black Americans of all people? Let's say this for argument's sake. Let's say everything you just said is true. Let's say that, which I disagree, but Joe Biden's the guy you're really going to think is coming in after 47 years that is actually on the side of everything you said is wrong. Is that the guy that's going to come in and people are going to count on to fix it as your side wants?
No more than Hillary was. Okay. I'm not a fan of those Democrats, those corporatocrats, those neoliberals. I have not liked Joe Biden since Anita Hill. That's how far back I do not like Joe Biden. When that PAC came out of nowhere right before Super Tuesday and dumped $54 million in anti-Bernie ads all over, I knew that the corporate Democrats who control the Democratic National Committee had made their choice. And all I can do is vote. I'm going to support Joe Biden from a policy standpoint. That's teamism. Okay. I'm not a team player. That's why if you vote for me, I'm not going to go down there and follow some Democrat agenda. I'm not going to follow no GOP agenda. I'm going to do what's best for the people here in this district, in Fannin County, Gilmer, and a little bit of Dawson County. This national stuff has no impact on you or me. Whoever is in the White House it doesn't matter. Okay. Our lives chug on a local level and on a state level. Okay. The state is about the highest form of government that really has an impact on it. The federal government is just a broad thing, and everybody just kind of lives with it, with whatever situation is. But really, all politics are local. All right. So I don't care about Joe Biden. Look, 2016, I was elected in the 9th Georgia Congressional District to be the delegate for Bernie Sanders. Before I left for that mess of a 2016 Democratic National Convention, I put an ad in the LJ Times Courier. And I said, basically, I'll summarize. I basically said I would not vote for Hillary Clinton. I do not support Hillary Clinton. I will vote for Bernie Sanders as many times as I possibly can. And that's my public announcement. Okay, so I'm not a fan of Biden. I'm not really much of a fan of Kamala Harris. Okay, but it is what it is. It is what it is, David.
All right.
Okay?
So
I can't do anything about it.
Do you think Biden will win?
Boy, oh boy. I don't, I don't know. I really don't know, because I live in a red bubble up here, okay, where I'm only probably going to get 16 to 18% of the vote, if that. All right. So I'm surrounded. I sell Trump merchandise. Okay. I sell caps, flags, wallets, keychains, all this stuff at a local booth up in Blue Ridge, and people buy the heck out of that stuff. All right. And because he's popular, he's very, very popular. And it's hard for me to say in this bubble that he can be beat. Now, if I lived outside the bubble, if I lived back in Atlanta in a different environment, a different population density, I might be more confident. But really, Brian, it doesn't matter to me if Donald Trump gets elected or not. It's not going to impact my life. I'm 65. I'm a boomer. I'm white. I'm male, and I'm protected. Okay, by the white supremacist militias and by the right-wing voters, because I blend in right with you guys. Nobody knows if I'm a liberal or not, except on the back of my car.
So up here, you feel protected, but if you were go to the city, you may have concerns that somebody might jerk your white ass out of the car and beat it.
Yeah, okay. That's right, and I would deserve it.
Oh, you would?
Oh, hell yeah. Okay.
You know what? I can't say I don't enjoy it. Nothing more than I know if somebody deserves a good beating. No,
yeah,
Rick.
Okay. If I'm doing something stupid, or if I'm in a place or an area that I know that my presence is not liked or welcome, I mean, wouldn't that happen if I walked into some church?
Yeah, it's called America. It's called America. A presence where you're not liked or welcomed. That shouldn't be in America, Rick, no matter who we are, where we're at, and what we're doing.
Well, then I guess we're going to have to fix their anger issues, aren't we? I guess we're going to have to finally break down and address their concerns.
I think what we have to address is the decay of the cities with
well, guess what?
With Democratic mayors, city councils, and a Democratic Party that has had them on a mental plantation for years.
Boy.
Hey, those are the words of my friend Vernon Jones, not mine. Vernon Jones said that.
Yeah. So where are they going? They're coming up here, buddy. Okay. All of those liberals, all of those young people, this whole district has been designed by David Ralston through gerrymandering and redistricting stuff to be the primary place for old people to come and die. Okay, there's nothing to do up here for old people but set up and vote and watch Fox News and OANN and Fetch Your News, and they get all this stuff and they get all this stuff in their head, and it's just they're just it's terrible. The suicide rate is out of the roof. The opiate overdose deaths. You don't hear about those, but yeah, I do.
Rick.
I know folks all the time. Okay, it's not the paradise everybody wants it to be. They set this up so that old people will be attracted by the tax breaks. Okay, the tax breaks where they don't have to pay school tax once you get a certain age. They got the homestead thing going. Property taxes are low here, and it's white. 90% plus white.
Rick. First of all, it's 9:46. I knew this would happen when we got together. I'm not trying to interrupt you. We've had some good debate, but I have give you plenty of time on some subjects. We have a lot. We're not finished. You and I are not finished. We got to come back on a different day. We got subjects we didn't hit. But, you're 65 in 5 weeks, I think you said. So you're enjoying the old people benefits of North Georgia, as you call them. Okay?
Yes.
Yes, you are. I'm not. Yes. I'm not. I'm still a greedy, no good capitalist trying to make a living. Okay? Just so you know. All right? I'm not enjoying the old people North Georgia benefits, as you call them. So There you go.
We should fix that, Brian.
Oh, God.
You should have the same benefits. All Americans should have benefits. We're all created equal under the eyes of God, and we should nobody should be privileged above
Is that
another.
your final? Is that your final 30 seconds to the voters? Because we got to say goodbye. Do you have a final
Brian,
30?
Let's do this again, okay? And let's do it often, okay?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for having me on. Vote Rick Day, November, blah, 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 whatever. Peace, love, and have a good day.
Hey, you know what I don't want to say owe me. I can't stand when somebody says they owe me something. But you remember you sent me a message that told me you were going to send me a tie-dye mask. And I never got that. You remember that? Wasn't that you? Didn't you tell me that you were going to get me the tie-dye mask?
Yes.
All right, I'm waiting. I got to go, Rick.
I'll bring it by the studios. All right, bye-bye.
All right, later. Rick Day, Democratic candidate for the 7th House District here in Georgia. Going to take a break. Don't go away. I got something you have to see. I'm telling you, you don't leave until you see this. Take a break.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World has 9-piece living room packages at incredible prices. Get this stylish sofa and love seat, 3 tables, 2 lamps, 43-inch 4K TV, and stand, all for only $1699.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this 9-piece living room and reclining sofa and reclining love seat, now only $1999.99 or $149.99 a month. These packages are amazing. Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is more than just your average Ace. We have a huge selection of Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next trip. We have a huge selection of lumber for your next building project. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs. Plus, we have everything you'd expect like paint, tools, and equipment.
Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hey, good morning. Welcome back to what Rick calls my shrine, my temple to Trump. If that's not enough, maybe this will get you. All right, there you go. Trump 2020. We are going to have election night coverage. Don't miss that. We've got a lot going on. There you go. All right, so we've got to do 2 quick segments, Emily, and we're probably going to go to like 10:03 or something. Okay. So this first segment, we're going to do Black Lives Matter. Now, I want to know, do you think that white people, first of all, let's be clear. Barack Hussein Obama hated the colonial world, okay? Don't have time to get too deep into this, all right? And there's a group that believe, and that would be Black Lives Matter, white men destroyed the earth. Okay, we don't have time to go all the way back, but that's their look. White men, myself included, we destroyed the world. We put our policies in place. We put our system in place, keep everybody down so we could excel and run the world as we see fit. And now they have every right, forget the Constitution. And when it comes to Black Lives Matter, there's no Constitution, okay, no matter what they may say. They have every single right to destroy, disrupt, and do as they please because they're going against the evil white man that ruined the world. Environmentally, we ruin the world. Every single thing, right down to the little white children, believe them. So, do you think that people are really going to go vote for a 78-year-old, right? Is he 78-year-old, crusty old white guy, Joe Biden, to fix things? Do you think so? Because in the inner cities, okay, we want to enjoy our life, and people are in fear. There's video in Rochester that you can watch, but I want you to watch this one because Joe Biden was with 3 or 4 reporters 10 feet away wearing masks in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, saying, "My dad always said, Joe, you are a union guy from your belt buckle down to the soles of your shoes." And he's trying to win that vote while white people are afraid, very afraid. I see white people. Play the video. The Twitter video that I have, it's a Twitter video. It's from, where is it at here? I forget which one I have here. It's the Twitter video. I think it's next. It's in Pittsburgh, PA. I think I have it in Pittsburgh, PA. Play that Twitter video. Put the warning up of the language, and let's go. Let's warn people about the bad language, and let's watch that video. You got to reload it. Is that what you have to do? If you killed that, I know it froze. If you can reload that and play it again and try to play it, I know it froze. Please do. Sometimes when we leave them in there a long time, we leave them in the cooler for a long time. They freeze up waiting for me to play those. So Emily probably has to take it out and put it back in, but we don't want to leave without you seeing this video. Okay. And what is going on all across this country, no matter where you're at. And it's got nothing to do with systemic racism. It's got nothing to do absolutely with anything where that's concerned. If you get that put back in, go ahead and go with it, Emily. You don't have to wait for me. But it's got nothing to do.
Fuck 12 and fuck the white people that built the system set against mine. You old dick.
Now, the media will show them marching down the street as peaceful protesters. They will leave out the F the white people who built the system. It don't matter who you are. If you're white, you're considered part of the white people that built the system. You guys are an embarrassment. Bullhorns. You can't sit outside and eat in the city. This is Pittsburgh. Okay, Pittsburgh's not this major city. It's big. It's a big city. But this is Pittsburgh, okay? They're trying to sit outside and enjoy a meal. I'm telling you, it's all over the United States, okay? So watch this. Second, I want to talk about mail-in ballots. And I want to play this one video, and then we're going to close for the day when we come back. It's right at 10 o'clock. But I want to play this one. I didn't get to do all of my pictures, and I'm sorry that I didn't do that. Give me the number one. Give me picture number one. Okay. This is the prediction of election night. Now, down there in the bottom, there is a Twitter video in that story, unsolicited mail-in voting in the Democrats' dirtiest fight of all. I want to play that for a reason right there. Play that video, and then we'll come back and close up the show.
That's a crime. So far, I haven't seen anybody have a problem, but the report hasn't been issued yet. Let's see what happens with the Durham report. But this started at Obama. And some people would say, and some people, well, but he was the president, like, let's leave him alone. If it were me, they wouldn't be leaving me alone. I can tell you, it's a totally double standard, and it's a disgrace. And if I were a Republican senator, and if I were a Republican congressman, and we have some great ones, but we have a lot of them that don't fight the way that the other side fights. We have much better policy. We have much better things going for us, like borders and walls and immigration and no sanctuary cities. And they have a lot of bad stuff going. But they're dirty fighters. And the dirtiest fight of all is the issuance of 80 million ballots. Unrequested. They're not requested. They're just sending 80 million ballots all over the country. 80 million ballots, non-requested. I call them unsolicited ballots. That's going to be the dirtiest fight of all. People are going to get ballots. They're going to say, what am I doing? And then they're going to harvest. They're going to do all the things. And if you look at the last period of 6 months, take a look at the races where they've sent ballots out. Take a look at Carolyn Maloney, whose race should be redone because she won that race totally unfairly to her opponent. Her opponent did very well against her. That race should be rerun. But they declared her the winner because they heard I found out about it. But take a look at what's happened in New Jersey and in Virginia and different places. It's a disgrace. That'll be a beauty. Yeah, please.
Folks, they sent out 80 million ballots. They want 80 million ballots returned as votes. Sent out ballots, they want the votes. Watch this. Watch it, as they call it, the blue shift. I have brought this to you over and over. Trump wins election night, and then they shift it to Biden over the next several days, okay? Last but not least, as all of the discussion going around of how Trump feels about our military and our men and women that have been dismembered, blown up, missing eyes, limbs across this country, number 86. Soleimani. Every time you see a report that Trump says, oh, that's not a good look for us, let me tell you, if you think that Trump said that's not a good look for us, having men and women in the military missing arms and legs, remember, the good look for us came from a good portion of them. This monster, this piece of garbage right here that is burning, rotting, dead in hell right now. Soleimani, an Iranian general that is responsible for hurting our kids, dismembering our kids. Trump had him killed. Okay? Actions louder than words. Number 87. Okay? Al-Baghdadi. Okay? Piece of SHI asterisk that was raping that young lady over there continuously. her mom and dad. I didn't get the name to put on her. Her mom and dad at the Republican convention. He's dead. Trump got rid of him. Got it? Okay? Got rid of him. Number 88, Trump doesn't care. Okay? We never got anything out of Little Rocket Man. You name the last president going all the way back to Bill Clinton, William Jefferson Clinton, and Secretary of State Madeleine Albright. When Madeleine Albright dropped down into North Korea, she didn't have to parachute in, but she came down. They gave her the Walmart plastic flowers. Did she get 55 members? Did she get the remains of 55 men left behind in North Korea in the war? No. Military members carrying transfer cases from a C-17, okay, C-17 ceremony marking the arrival of the remains believed to be American service members who fell in Korea War at the Joint Base Pearl Harbor, Hickman, in Hawaii. Wednesday, August 1st, 2018, North Korea handed over the remains last week. Never happened. William Jefferson Clinton, George Bush, George W. Bush, George H. Bush, Jimmy Carter, Obama, you name it. Actions speak louder than words. I'm your host, BKP. It is Tuesday. I will be back Wednesday, 8 a.m. Take us out of here, Emily. Great job, young lady.